Hey Pellers, and welcome to my road disc brake build video. Long anticipated on my end. So hopefully it is for you as well. I don't know. But basically, I'm going to geek out, nerd out, super detailed oriented on every single part that I have here because I've been making content for over 10 years for cycling and I've been riding rim brakes. So the day that I basically get to do a bike build, I've only done one bike build when I was a junior, and that was pretty exciting. And that was obviously before a lot of options came onto the market, and I was around like 17 at the time, so I'm 27, 10 years later. So super excited. Disc brakes, hashtag save the rim out the window, and I'm basically gonna go over every single part super quickly, explain my rationale, explain why I chose it, explain why I have it, and go from there. So the skeleton, which is the Quick Pro AR1. If you want to be a Quick Pro, then get this frame set. But no, on all serious, Quick is a Chinese company. They're making race specific frames. This is their all-around race bike. They have an ER1, which is aero focused, and I'll explain some of the cool features with this frame set. And if you guys want to hear it, then yeah, this video is going to be very long, but it's all the research I've done. Now, for full transparency too, Quick sent me out this frame for this build, and a lot of other parts were sent also by companies. So that's the full transparency on that, but I'm allowed to share my opinions. They're seeing this video the same time you are. This is their AR1. I'm 188 centimeters for context, 6'2", size XL. It's UCI approved. And the reason why I wanted to touch up on the weight is because I was really impressed on how lightweight this frame set is. So with all the accessories, so just the frame, with front derailleur mount, rear derailleur hanger, even some of the inside tubing, the frame set alone is only 849 grams. When you take those accessories off, I was curious. It came in, oh, and I also forgot the bottle cages, bolts. It came in at around 819 grams. So almost 800 grams for a size 58 centimeters. Super impressed. And if I actually zoom in here, a lot of that was done by this two-tone color, but some of it you can actually see. It's very clear, I'm assuming, where you can see some of the carbon. So it's not dirty. It's actually the carbon coming through. So it's a very cool two-tone that they did for this color scheme. It's very stealthy. I'll get into that as well. So the weight of it is super impressive. Now, the way that they did it was with two types of carbon. So for stiffness and weight, they used T1100 carbon mixed with M65 high modulus carbon. So it keeps it extremely stiff while also being extremely lightweight. And this frame, well, it was used to, now they have the ER1 that the Chinese Continental team that Quick sponsors. They have like an old UCI World Tour Sprinter that like put monster watts through it. So it's incredibly stiff. But this is their all-around race bike, similar to the SL8, so it can climb extremely well. That's why I wanted to test it, because I'm doing a lot of climbing as of recently, living in Greece. I love this frame set. I'll get into some of the geometry aspects of it as well, but I just want to touch up on the fork is around like 300 grams. The mounts that they did for the brake calipers, it's not painted over, so they did a really good job on that as well. So it's like high quality. It's not like those Chinese cheap frames. The other thing too here is that this is a UDH compatible hanger, so that's great. Also has a chain guard, so you don't dig into your chain stays and mess up the paint. So that's good to see. It has a little like silver thing that came with the accessories that says Quick Pro that adds like 10 grams, I think. So I'll decide if I want to add that. And then the seat post here is I think around like 160 grams. It's matte, and this is their zero offset seat post. So I'll explain that as well, because a lot of these terms, if you're new to cycling, you're not going to just know it off the top of your head. The frame is BSA threaded bottom bracket, which I'm super excited because my rim brake bike that I've been riding for the last 5 years is press fit. So I like the fact that they went back to that standard, just no noise creaks. Also here you can see this little cutout for the wheel. It has obviously drop seat stays, but it's very aero focused. The front part looks like a blade. So it's their all-around race bike. It's not like their ER1, but it can be fast on flats, fast on descents, and obviously good for climbing. So one thing with this frame is that it's race focused. So what that means is basically the stack height compared to any Western brands is 24 millimeters shorter. So basically, let's say you're comparing this to a Tarmac SL8 in 58 centimeters. So the same size that basically this is. Basically, if you ran it slammed, no spacers, and you ran this with spacers, say even 10 millimeters, you would actually still be more aggressive lower than comparative to the Western brands. So they make it a lot more racy focus, more lower on the front end, and that's what stack is. So it's not just the head tube, it's the actual stack height. of the whole bike is 24 millimeters on average, lower compared to other Western frames. So that's why right now I'm going to be running 10 millimeters of spacers and see how I get on after a month of climbing long rides. I obviously don't want to tweak my back. But one thing I did too to compensate for that, knowing that, I wanted to test out shorter cranks and the zero offset seat post. So I'll explain that, but I'll touch up on, I think I touched basically every aspect of this. So I explained that, I'm going to use 10 millimeters of spacers. It's going to be still very, good looking in terms of not having a big chimney on top or a lot of spacers. Like, it's going to look aero, it's going to look pro. So I will show the handlebars. But for the zero offset seat post, I'll explain what that is. It just puts you more forwards over the BB versus being behind it. And that just helps with power transfer and being a little bit more aggressive. But to compensate for that, I also am running shorter cranks, which is hashtag Pogi style. And it's going to help me be, not have a tight hip angle, like being pinched. It's going to open that. So when you pair the shorter cranks with the zero offset seat post with this stack being shorter, it's going to be racy, but obviously I'm doing it from a comfort perspective. So if 10 millimeters is all I can, hold, I can touch my toes. So I think I should be able to slam it, but I want to be conservative first and see how I get on. So I think that basically touched up on everything. I just want to show the color on camera. Like, that color is just so nice. XL frame. So nice. So anyways, so that's fork, frame, seat post. And I'm going to have to cut the fork. So that's that. Now we're going to move on. We have, the accessories are behind. So bearings and stuff like that comes from Quick. So Quick also has accessories under Can Win. So they have wheel set as well. And this is the Zypher handlebars. Now I chose to get 40 centimeters, 400 millimeter handlebars across because it matches my shoulders and I don't want to go narrower than that. I'm 6'2" for context. So maybe I can go to 38s, but I want to be a little bit more conservative. And this roughly weighs 300 grams, 120 millimeters in terms of the stem. And the reason why I did that as well is because I'm not rocking a 56 centimeter frame. So I'm not rocking a size lower. So if you run a size lower, things shorten up and you have to extend with a longer stem. So I'd have to run 130 millimeters. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be comfortable and have good stability and not feel like I have to extend. So just get the right size frame, 120 millimeters stem, 400 across, and that should be fine. Maybe in the future, or if I get the ER1, I can test more aero focused 38 millimeters. But 38 centimeter bars, I don't want to test that right now. But yeah, this is their bars. I love the finish on it. It's pretty standard in terms of the reach, drop, angle, nothing too crazy, but I do love seeing how you can see some of the finish on it. So good overall bars. It's flared at the bottom, so 42 centimeters for this one. And on the bike, the drop and from the builds that I've seen, it looks really, really good in terms of even having 10 millimeters of spacer. So I'm excited to put this on. And for context too, I saw what Pogi did with his Hulk stickers. So this is a Batman kind of build. So I have stickers. I'll decide which one goes on the handlebar. But yeah, this is just stealthy. Like, this literally looks like Quick Pro Batman. I have too much energy. So that's the handlebars. And then we're going to finish it off in terms of the skeleton with this wheel set. So this is Quick's Can Win brand. This is the F50C wheel set. For the pair, it's roughly 1,300, 1,400 grams. Has a nice ratchet sound. But overall, it's matte. It's you're all around do it. It's not going to be super light. It's not going to be super aero, but gets the job done. It's matte. So matte on gloss, I like it, especially with the seat post being, matte as well. And then the handlebars, I think it kind of levels everything out, averages everything out. So that's fine to see. So that's the wheel set. Now I'll explain all the parts now that I'm deciding to put on it. So for cages, we have these generic cages that I found online, nothing fancy. It's supposed to copy, I think, the Bontrager cages, but this I thought was cool because it's like raw carbon, similar to some of the aspects of the frame. So we'll see how that looks on it. Now, in terms of, we'll move on. This is the bottom bracket, which I already showed. We're going with wheel top. So this is Wheel Top's EDS TX group set. I'm going to be rocking 12 speeds, but it goes up to 14 speeds. You can rock 10 or 11 speeds, but this is their disc group set. It's mineral oil, so very similar to Shimano. It comes, I'm pretty sure, pre-bled, so it's pretty simple. The hosings are attached that you have to attach to the shifters. So very simple. I'm already using it on my rim brake bike, over 12,000 kilometers, holds up decently. I might shift this out for Ultegra Di2 12-speed. I don't know yet. I just want to see how I get on with it. Like I said, I really did want to test this because it is a good bang for your buck, and a lot of viewers want to see that stuff. So I did test it. I basically was a guinea pig. I haven't had any problems, but of course, with the amount of riding that I'm slowly doing over almost 7, 8, I want to push to 10,000 meters of elevation per week. We'll see how sustainable that is with reality of life. But if I can sustain that, maybe I do want a little bit faster shifting, but we'll see. Yet again, I've done fast group rides. I've ridden with pros in the Giro d'Italia, fast pace line, so it's held up fine. But yeah, I don't know yet. So as of right now, I'll be putting it on and we'll go from there. So what am I pairing the group set, the Wheel Talk group set with? So we have Majine's power meter here. So spider-based power meter. They do have a lightweight crank arms that I will be testing when I get that sent to me, but this is their basic one, their everyday value one. So a little bit heavy, but it's fine. And they have chain rings as well. Now I have Aero chain rings coming from PassQuest, so I might swap it. This is a 52, and I do want a 50-34 for climbing, so probably will swap this out before even testing this product. I do want to give a review on that as well. So it's fine. We put it together and see how it is. Even with everything, spoiler alert, this should be 7 kgs or less. So with those other products, a little bit lighter weight stuff, it could even come down. So I'm excited to do that as well. So the last part of the group set, which would be this cassette from a company called Neutron. They're also from China. It's 1134, machined all in one piece, and it's 188 grams. So very lightweight, helps keep the weight down of the overall build. And I'm super excited to test this because I do like what the company's doing in terms of the vision. They make lightweight crank arms as well. So, and chain rings. So I do want to test more of their products, but that's the cassette that they have. And then the rotors that are going on are Dura-Ace. These are the CL900s, 140 at the back, 160 millimeters at the front. I've always wanted to have these rotors if I ever made a disc road bike. I just love the two-tone of silver and black. So I'm happy I can test this out finally. Now, I almost forgot the chain. I've been using Squirt based wax loop, but I'm fully converted now to, I mentioned it before I wasn't a big fan, but I really have a deeper appreciation of bike builds and just maintenance and more tinkering. So CycleWax sent me out their wax system, so I'm going to be waxing my chains a lot more often. This is a KMC black chain that they sent out, so I'm excited to test out their wax-based system, see how easy it is to wax chains when you need it instead of just strip base. And obviously it's going to be a lot better in terms of how covered it is and not carrying grime. Like my bike still gets grimy even though it's wax based. So that black chain on this bike with the rotors and everything is going to look so nice. So I'm excited to test that out. Now the finishing touches is the seat, which is the saddle. Samasi lightweight 3D printed saddle. It's 160 grams. 3D printed. I'll see how I get on with this. It's pretty firm, but it's 3D printed as well, so we'll see if it destroys my bib shorts. I don't think so, but I'm excited to test this out. Yeah, I'm excited to test out the bar tape from Silca because I heard a lot of good reviews, so I'm excited to test that bar tape out. Now, tires are everything when it comes to cycling nowadays. So this is from a company called Challenge. They're huge in cyclocross. Was really happy to get a set of their tires to test out. This isn't their premium tires for the road, but it still gets the job done. This is their Strata. This is 28 millimeters. So I definitely want to test 32s. That's the max tire clearance that you have for the Quick Pro Aero 1. So I'm excited. This is kind of like the lowest I would go. I would definitely not run anything lower. So hopefully we'll test these out. 10-wall tires. All my bikes are 10 walls. All my bikes I run like 10-wall tires. It's so good looking. Like it's going to look so pro once I have the 10 walls. So I'm excited to see how their compound compares, how the grip is compared to Continental, which I've been running for basically my whole cycling career. So I'm excited that they sent this out for me to test, tubeless ready. So some of the Greek roads are not the best, and if I could run a little bit less pressure and have some compliance, I'm excited for that. And other than that, I think I touched on everything. I already mentioned that Wheel Top's brakes are mineral oil based, so similar like Shimano, And that's basically everything. So I'm hoping we get to sub 7 kgs. Obviously, I have ideas to make it even less than that. But with what I have right now, the bike is going to look and come together really, really nice. So I'm super excited to show you guys the build. So if you guys did enjoy this video, there will be links for a lot of these products below, which obviously helps the channel. I'm about transparency. So if you guys can help me by using the links, then of course, more content on the channel. But even if you don't, whatever, it is what it is. I just like sharing what I'm doing in cycling. So that's the overall build. Hopefully it comes together without any headaches, but we'll see. And if you guys did enjoy the video, then like, subscribe, and follow, because a lot more cycling content now with this build. So until the next one, keep on pedaling.